Oh, do I feel good today? My goodness. Welcome into the relaunch of your universe. Brand new name, same great community that we're going to grow bigger and better than ever. I'm your boy, the coach. I will drive this every single day. For those of you who've been riding with us, you already know. For those of you who are new, you're about to embark on the most fun sports and sports betting brand you could ever be a part of. Everybody here will have a voice. Everybody here will have an opportunity to be a part of what we are doing. Make sure you follow us on social media at Driving the Line. Also, follow, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel. And despite the efforts of many, and I know you're watching right now, we still got on the air today. We've got a cast of thousands. And I want to say this before I bring him in, and I'm never going to do this again, that I have been blown away by the trust, by the loyalty, and by the talent of the people that have reached out that want to be a part of this brand moving forward. We're not just a pick show. This is about educating and entertaining. We're going to be here 30 to 45 minutes every single weekday. We're going to have primetime shows when it makes sense, but we'll roll all of that out. We're going to do college basketball. We've got a hockey guy. We've got a soccer guy. We've got a little bit of everything. But without further ado, this is NFL Monday. Let's bring in the stars of the show. You know them. You love them. And let me just say this with all due respect to Coach Phil. I'll get to you in a second. But we would not be on the air today. We would not have a TV-ready brand without my partner, without my brother, without my friend, AB. Today's a big day. Thank you for everything you've done the last couple of weeks and what you're going to do moving forward. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Coach. Good morning, Phil. Yeah, no, I mean, look, team effort, man. Like, it's amazing what everyone has accomplished and put together in 3 weeks, which is nuts. Like, usually this thing takes 2 months to get where we're at. So it's been a full team effort. The last 2 days, I wish we could say the same about the picks, but you know what? It's okay. We're not worried about that. Yeah, we're going to nail all that stuff. We've got it all down. But today, the first day of the rest of our lives for everybody together, I'm so excited, man. This is awesome.
You're damn right. Now, we're going to introduce everybody today. This man is a former big-time NFL coach, big-time Division I college coach, and we are thrilled to have him a part of the Driving the Line family. And he's not just football. He's going to be here every single day. Couldn't be more thrilled. Coach Phil McGeoghan, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Coach. Good morning, AB. What a fantastic Monday. So much to recap, so much to get into. I'm excited. I'm going to shut my mouth now, and let's get into it.
All right, before we get into the games today, because it's almost like the NFL was thinking about us. We got 2 big games to get to today. Before we do that, we would be remiss. I told you we're not just a pick show. We're also a discussion show as well, novel concept. Now, yesterday, and there's a reason I'm not a Cowboys fan. I just was up trying to pick out my hats. And this one just spoke to me. Phil, let me come to you. The game was not as close as the score might indicate, 48-32. I said yesterday, right here on our dress rehearsal, that we could see the coming out party of the next superstar quarterback from the Green Bay Packers. I believe we saw it yesterday. Jordan Love looked the part, and the Packers were awesome. Your thoughts?
You nailed what you were saying with Jordan Love, and I couldn't agree with you more. But what did Jordan Love have to do? Throw to some wideouts. And we talked about a number of names, and all of those names delivered yesterday for the Packers. What happened yesterday was they didn't have enough cornerbacks. You know, Deron Bland, and then you had Gilmore, and then everybody else had to cover all this 4 and 5 deep wide receiver core, and Love was hot. All right, he was hot like disco in the 70s. This guy was on fire. All right, he was lighting people up. So they got up early. You know, it took Mike McCarthy out of his balanced attack that he wanted. They had to go back and throw the football. They were able to complete some passes versus a Joe Barry prevent defense. It looked a lot closer than it was, but this was a dominant Packers road win.
And AB, when you take the betting out of it and you just look, we said it, 26 years of zero playoff anything for the Cowboys. And it's one thing to lose 24-20, but when you give up over 40 points in 3 quarters, that was as embarrassing a loss as maybe the Cowboys have ever had. And now all the questions start. What do they do with the coach? What do you do with the players? What do you do?
This isn't good. I mean, look, I'm rarely speechless in regards to
That's true.
reacting. You're right. I know, right? Like it was what 27-0 at one point. And understand this: these aren't rookies anymore. All right, Mike McCarthy has won a Super Bowl. All right, Dak Prescott is not a rookie. I don't know what was going on between him and CeeDee Lamb at the beginning of the game, but they were not on the same page whatsoever. And I'll tell you this. Phil talks about this all the time, and not that game, just in general, when we're texting, when we're talking, when he's on the show breaking down. You need to know what the hell time it is, all right? And Dallas knew what time it was and did not show up, all right? Whether that's too much pressure, whether that's the owner that is way too involved in this organization, and that's been a problem since Jimmy Johnson was there. They have way too many issues, and yesterday was absolute proof of it. And Phil nailed this. I'll stop talking after this. Phil nailed this 3 weeks ago, okay, in regards to coming into the playoffs when we were talking about the Bills and the Dolphins game, all right, at the end of the regular season. You know what's good sometimes? When nobody's talking about you, and it is a quiet week of practice and work. And you know what, Green Bay? Not a damn person in the world was talking about them, and they came in prepared, ready to go, and took advantage of every single mistake that Dallas made. Phil absolutely nailed that part.
Well, I tell you what, when Jair Alexander is saying, I like when Dak plays quarterback because he throws a lot of interceptions to me. That's just a stab to the gut right there. By the way, many of you are asking in the chat, and as we go, we'll kind of educate you on what we're doing and when we have picks. So many of you are excited that Howie Schwab is a part of the brand. Well, he will only be here on Tuesdays and Thursdays. However, today's a little different because we're introducing everything. But moving forward, we'll have college basketball picks from the Schwab almost every single day that he sees something. We're never going to force picks. You know what we're about. But Schwab will be here. Also, we will have a member of the crew in the chat every single day. If you see the name Pick Management, he is a big part of what we're doing. He is running the brand for us. We've got an incredible team. So if you have any questions, he will also be doing soccer for us. Put them into the chat. He will answer them for you in real time or get you any information you need from the brand because there's going to be a lot. Now, game number 2 yesterday, and this is what I saw, Phil, after the game. Literally fans in tears. Yes. Because the Lions won for the first time in over 30 years in the playoff, but also because of how they won. 38 points in the first half. The over-bettors, it closed at like 51-52. 38 points in the first half, 9 in the second half. But the Lions win by 1 in the revenge Matthew Stafford game. You're intimately connected to this Lions team. What were your thoughts about the way they got it done yesterday?
It was so fitting for a fan base like Detroit to get a 1-point win over Stafford, who had been there for 12 years, ultra productive. You know, I just couldn't be more happy for Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson and Scotty Montgomery and so many players on that roster. And I have a lot of friends that are either from Michigan or from Detroit or just suburbs of that area. And it means so much to them. And they're going to get to host another one. So that stadium was rocking an hour before the game started. The energy was intense. I talked to a member of the coaching staff briefly this morning through text. Just an absolute great performance by the Lions. What a game. You know, Stafford was dealing. Just like I told you, he throws the ball like better than anybody in the league. Goff answered. Ben Johnson had 3 75-yard touchdown drives to open the game up. Like we talked about cooking in the kitchen, he was cooking. So I love Amon-Ra St. Brown, the ability to make that play basically under the 2-minute warning to ice the game, get out in a spread set and throw the football when everybody else would run up in 2 tight end sets and just pound it, punt it to the generationally talented Stafford and probably lose. Not Dan Campbell. Drill you right there, end the game, take some knees, go give a great speech, and then go get some rest because you got another one coming this week.
You're damn right. Shout out to the chat. Look who's in the chat. Alicia, Crystal, Alicia again, Capper Taylor, Dan Clark. We value all of you every single day. AB, were you texting any coaches from the Detroit Lions this morning at all? You got them in your Rolodex?
Well, I'll tell you what, we can't call them well, first off, no, of course I do not. Not like that. All right. But I was going to call him coach of the Detroit Lions. Well, they will until they win the Super Bowl. But I got a feeling one of them is going to be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans here in about a month. So we'll see which one, because I think both of them, the OC and the DC, are both going to be up for that job. But how could you not want them, man? Lions look good yesterday. And by the way, did anyone see the interview with Dan Campbell coming out of halftime, right? You know how they do like the little 30-second interview like with the coach? Dan Campbell has never not been 100% authentic and honest with
100%.
exactly who he is. He broke down exactly what he just told his team. He said, they haven't even punted yet. We need to get our asses in gear on third down. I couldn't love Dan Campbell more. That dude is legit.
You're
Agreed.
damn right. And that's part of the reason we're going to have NFL as much as possible here on the show, not just on the days there are games. There's so much to stay up with because what? It can help you with your betting. We stand on this: educate and entertain. Brian in the chat says, so glad the show is back. Time to start winning some money again. Yes, that's important. And we're going to do it in so many different ways. Now, as the game was ending yesterday and everybody was watching that debacle, there was something that was very, very emotional, fantastic, and it was the return of a golfer who came out of nowhere, who had literally hit rock bottom, and Grayson Murray got it done. Now, here we're also launching Driving the Line Golf, and my boys are here to say hello this morning. I want to introduce to you three of the greatest golf minds in the business today. Robert Dameron, PGA Tour for years. Fast Eddie Fernandez, world long drive champion, part of Hideki's team, and he will be here helping you with distance, helping you with swing speed, and the knowledge. And, of course, you know him from the other thing, but now he's here full time. Shocking. The great Steve Scott, who famously went toe-to-toe with Tiger Woods in the USAM and knows as much about the game as anybody. Gentlemen, thank you for taking the time this morning. Steve, why don't we start with you? Could not be thrilled. Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Eastern live. Also, we'll have round-by-round picks on Thursdays and Fridays. You guys are a big part of what we're doing. How excited are you?
Oh, my goodness. This is my level of excitement today is only matched by the level of frustration by the Dallas Cowboys nation. I mean, it is just it's off the charts. And you know what? And on the X, there's a lot of people that I've been connecting with there and everybody in the chat. I think this is just going to be an awesome community to be a part of every single week. We've got great picks. We've got great events coming up. The Amex is this week. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Be there.
You're damn right. Now, Fast Eddie, I've been trying to get you with me for years. I guess I just had to start owning the stuff before we could make it happen. You are one of the greatest, not just long drivers, but I don't think a lot of people know how good at the game of golf you are. We are thrilled to have you a part. What did you make of Grayson Murray yesterday?
Well, you know what? And to talk about Grayson Murray, about just the story, right? Our first two winners this year, Grayson wins yesterday and Chris Kirk wins last week. It was amazing. So personal experience, being on the outside looking in. My brother, had alcohol addiction, passed away at 54 years old. So it hits me a little hard when these guys come through all that adversity and raise their games and they get through it. And success is always on the other side of adversity, right? As we all know. Mm-hmm. So just to see him do what he did after, with my brother, and that one right there, Coach, how ironic is it that you were on the call for my first world championship right there, that belt on the top.
That's
so
right.
It was amazing. It was amazing to see him, Chris Kirk. I mean, what a great start to 2024. It's going to be an amazing ride with you guys. It's a pleasure and a privilege to be here with you guys, talking golf and talking speed and everything else. And it's going to be an awesome trip.
Now, real quick, we're going to be a combination of the four of us every week. And actually tomorrow, Eddie, you won't be a full member of the show. Where are you going to be at tomorrow, Eddie?
I don't know if any of you guys can see that, but Grove 23. I think some guy, Michael Jordan, owns the golf course and he's playing. So I'm going to do my best. So funny, quick story behind this. These are the shoe bars.
I'm not even going to ask where you got that thing from.
No.
That's
listen,
not just for shoes.
I go to the locker room, as Robert Dameron knows. There's TVs around all the chairs and all the kind of benches in the locker room. So I went to the locker room guy and said, hey, look, this might be a little weird request, but is there any way I can purchase one of these? He goes, let me go into the pro shop, my man, and let me see what I can do. So I bought one. It was like $25 or $30. So
it looks like the paddle from
cool.
Animal House.
I love it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 6'4", so it takes me 53 years old. It takes me a little bit to get my shoes on. So Grove 23 shoehorn, one of the best purchases I've ever made.
Oh man.
AP just had a good idea. He says, I need one of those to keep the wife in line. Easy, AP.
Whoa,
I
hey,
didn't
hey.
read the second half of that. My apologies. But we are going to use the chat a lot. Now, the third and final member to introduce to you today. And in my humble opinion, I think he's one of the most entertaining, dry humor people in the game of golf that there is. I first met him and worked with him as part of his 7 years dominating Morning Drive at the Golf Channel. Now he is free to be himself. And Robert Dameron, we are honored, humbled, and thrilled to have you a part of the Driving the Line golf family. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good to be with you, Coach. Why do I feel like if we went past Fast Eddie's house, you'd hear him yelling, thank you, sir. May I have another? I don't think that shoehorn is just for his shoes. There's no way. It has some wear marks on it that didn't look like shoes to me. But, Coach, we're talking about Grayson Murray. We're talking about that great playoff yesterday. How about the mental karate he played on those guys? Keegan hits a perfect tee shot. Ben On's got a 4-footer for birdie in the playoff. And what does Grayson do? He pull hooks a drive into the woods. He chips out. He hits the worst wedge that you could hit that wasn't a shank, a chunk, or a skull. And he just buries a bomb. Great to see. Great on you, Grayson Murray. Great with all that trials and tribulations that you have gone through. Well done. And we're going to be able to talk about this a lot more coming up in the future, Coach.
You're damn right. Robert, Fast Eddie, Steve Scott, we're going to dominate the golf space too. But even more than that, as we move along, we're going to introduce some series. All of my guys are going to have special series that educate and entertain you, whether it's on golf courses, whether it's on the swing. Everybody's getting prepared behind the scenes. We're not just coming out with a show. We're coming out with a brand, and we're covering all the bases. Gentlemen, thank you for this morning. We'll see you live tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time right here.
Can't wait.
You got it.
Goodness. How cool is that, boys? How cool is that? Are you kidding me right now? Those three?
Great.
We got those three? We got
Amazing.
those three?
Amazing.
Oh,
Amazing.
Wow. By the way, AB, great job. I love the way the show is shaping up. You're damn right. And we know today's just the day. There's going to be stumbling blocks, but we want to hear from you. If you like something, you don't like something, you see something that's off, let us know. This is your show. This is all about you. Now, gentlemen, as the sports gods would look and shine down on us, we have 2 games today because of the snow in Buffalo. So game number one. Where do we start? Well, we're going to start with Steelers and the Bills. I had to look at the start times because I couldn't remember because they keep moving these games. So here's what it looks like. And it's going to be an issue. Apparently, all the heavy snow has stopped. The Bills favored by 10, the total 38.5. Now, Coach Phil, let me come to you. Let's start with keys of the game. And just like Kansas City, we got some weather issues.
Yeah, so we're going to start with Pittsburgh on the road, their keys to the game. So just the first and foremost, we'd like to cover significant injuries, all right? So TJ Watt, he's going to be out. They're 1-10 without him. That's going to be a significant thing to monitor as the day goes on. They must run the football. Mason Rudolph is a third-string quarterback. He's won 3 games against Baltimore, Seattle, and Cincinnati, so he's done a good job against some good football teams, all right, to get in the playoffs. And Najee Harris and Jalen Warren have had 444 yards combined and 5 touchdowns in those 3 games. They must control the football, avoid turnovers, and play great on special teams. The second thing is Tomlin team typically finds ways. The way that they can do it is keep Josh under wraps, turn the football over, and play great field position with their special team and punting game.
Those are great keys. Now, when you look at AB, that side of the football, everybody expects the Bills to win today. They all expect the Bills to win today. But when you throw in the weather and you throw in the fact that Mike Tomlin somehow has figured this out from a Bills perspective, what do they have to do?
This is the one game to where, okay, from the Bills' perspective, like
It's the Steelers.
Yeah, but yeah, that's exactly right. Like it's not like keeping the Steelers' offense off the field. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of been a play along here with the Steelers. How many points can they score? Like that. That's what I asked. Like, that's the first thing that comes to my mind. How many points can they score? The Bills defense, Phil's broken it down all year long. When they're healthy, that's a badass defense. When they're not healthy, it's not terrible, right? Like, they've got aggressive guys, but you can score on them, right? So, yeah, I mean, like, I pause it right there. Like, how many points can the Steelers score?
Yeah.
How many points is it going to be necessary to win this game? Like, from
That's
a
a great
betting
point.
aspect or just watching the game, how many points does it take to win?
That's
For the
going to play
Steelers.
into one of my best bets. Let's go back to you, Phil, on the Bills side of things. What are you looking at?
Yeah, so I thought AB just absolutely drilled it. How many points can they score? Who knows? But it's all going to be predicated on how that defense plays in the field position in this weather. I promise you that. But when we talk about the Buffalo Bills, not a ton of significant injuries. Dawson Knox questionable. Davis is questionable. They're probably going to go, and they're not as significant as a TJ Watt, so we're not going to spend a lot of time on it. Number one thing that I'm talking about is just Josh Allen's will to win. They were 6-6. They ran the table, finished 11-6. They're surging into the playoffs. Bills Mafia is going to be a factor. Lake effect snow is going to be a factor. Josh must take calculated risks with the football. Their goal today is to score points or punt the football. Simple as that. Field goal, touchdown, or punt. No turnovers, they'll win. All right. The second thing that I'm going to talk about with the Bills is their defense must control the line of scrimmage. They're going to try to pound you in the snow with Najee Harris. They have to do a great job stopping the run, neutralizing the Steelers' run games, turn the football over, and win in that field position battle. And again, this is an important game for the quarterback runs.
It's funny you should mention Najee Harris, because I actually I was doing a little handicapping, because I'm going to do a few picks here every single day. And Najee Harris, his number is 61.5, or that according to BetMGM. If they pound him, AB, does he get to that number in your mind?
Likely, because they're going to run the hell out of the football. But here's the thing, though. If you're Buffalo, and I throw this back to you, Phil, especially, if you're Buffalo, you're saying, I'm not going to let you just run the football. You're going to have to beat me in the air with Mason Rudolph. We're not letting Najee Harris dictate this game. If you beat us because Mason has an insane game, so be it. The football gods were on your side. We'll take that chance. But it damn sure is not going to be Najee Harris and in an offensive line. So I think that he'll get there. It'll be a grind. You'll take 4 quarters to do it, which is always the case. But I'm fascinated at this Bills, defense of how they line this thing up and what they do and allow and not allow.
Yeah, Scott in the chat says, I have Pittsburgh plus 17 in a teaser. Do you guys think that works? Phil, from a score perspective, is this a game that, and again, playoffs are completely different. And we saw yesterday when it gets going downhill, it can go fast. And then the other way, when you get to the second half of a game, you start to play a little bit more conservative, like in Detroit. So is this a game where the Bills get a big lead and stop? Or is that 17 points pretty safe in your mind for Mr. Scott with 17?
17 total for.
Well, yeah, he has it in the teaser, so he teased it up to 17
for the Bills.
For the the Steelers. This is why Phil is here. This is why. That's great. Steelers are plus 17 because he bought a teaser. Educating.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, of course. I mean, that's a ton of points. I mean, give me a break. I mean, this thing could be 10-3, buddy. I think all the things that we talked about the other night about Kansas City and Miami with that cold weather, like all that applies, but there's way more things going on with the snow and trying to clear the field and get people over there to shuffle this thing out. I mean, this thing is there's no guarantee this game is played today. I mean, with this thing is still very much in flux. It's hard for me to say anything about that. This thing could be really low scoring. I mean, and it could be a slog.
I'm so glad that you said that, Phil, because I'm about to give my 2 best bets for this particular game. I absolutely love the under day 38.5. I can't believe, honestly, guys, that it hasn't gone down to 37 or 36. And I think the sports books, especially BetMGM, that they really are scared of kind of what happened yesterday in Dallas, that if the Bills start to get going, that they can just start scoring, and then that would allow the Steelers to open up their offense. The problem is, the Steelers can't open up their offense. And that's why my other play is Rudolph under 170.5. Now, passing yards. That's a low number, but not in this weather. And certainly I would probably play this even without the weather, because playoffs, you play much more conservative. I also believe they're going to try to keep the ball away from Buffalo. And to do that, you run the ball, you milk clock, and you shorten the game. So I like the under 38.5. I like Mason Rudolph under 170.5. AB, your thoughts on yours?
So first off, I like your picks. Those are nice. All right.
Thank you.
And number two, I was going to bring up, and Phil, feel free to hit on this whenever. Playing in snow doesn't always mean that it's going to be tough sledding on both sides, because the offense knows where it's going. Defense doesn't. That being said, I love the under 38.5, even if there weren't any weather in this game. I think Buffalo is really going to try to just control the clock and get the hell out of here with a win, right? My play on this game, all right, BetMGM, you can find it same game parlay, Bills money line, and Josh Allen anytime touchdown plus 125. That's it. Simple as possible. Take that -10 all the way down to money line, and Josh Allen is the highest scoring person on the Bills team, in the air, on the ground. He's their leading rusher. He does everything. And trust me, after their last game in the red zone, Josh Allen is not going to be screwing around in the air. He is taking off and running with his legs, which he already does, even if they were in a dome. Now, after having what? They tried to give that Dolphins game away at the beginning of it. He's going to be running. Bills money line, Josh Allen anytime TD plus 125.
Such a smart way to make that bet, because anytime, I'll come to you, Phil, 1 second. Anytime that you can put a money line on a team that is double-digit favorites, that's what you want to do, and add something in, especially if you believe the Bills are a rock solid to win the game, which I believe we all do that. Phil, go ahead.
Well, you mentioned, AB, about the snow, right? And I coached in a game against the Colts, a lake effect snow game in 2017. I think you guys probably remember Bills versus Colts, one of the big, great snow games in the history of the league. And LaShawn McCoy was really the only person that could keep his feet. So, LaShawn McCoy ran wild. Nobody else could stay on their feet. If we didn't have LaShawn, we probably wouldn't have scored a touchdown, maybe one other, but it was not a high scoring game. It was very difficult for both teams to get going in that stadium under those conditions. That's all I could think about is that lake effect snow game against the Colts in 2017. That it is just very difficult. So some teams can perform in the snow. It's oftentimes predicated on footing and then also the wind, whether you can get the offense going. But there's so many variables that you don't understand about what type of snow, who plays well in the snow, who doesn't. It's really difficult to imagine anything besides people not moving the football and not scoring points.
That is great, great, great advice from a man who actually coached in Buffalo. AB, quickly go.
Yeah. I was going to say, Phil nailed it there at the end. It's not necessarily the snow. It's not necessarily the temperature. It's the wind. And especially for a team like Pittsburgh, if they have to throw, and a team like Buffalo that wants to throw, 18-mile-an-hour winds projected through this game. Yeah, pay attention to that. That's why we always love Josh Allen on the ground, especially love Josh Allen on the ground. The more that they can do this thing, controlling it, they will.
That
Agreed.
leads right to a chat question from Greg. He says, Coach, do you like the Rudolph under? My goodness, my apologies. The under 27.5 pass attempts. The reason I would stay away from it is if the Bills get up by a lot, even though the guys just talk about run, at some point, the Steelers are going to have to try and score if they're down by a lot, and that could lead to a lot of pass attempts. Am I right,
100%.
Phil?
Yeah, that's a 100%. We saw it yesterday with Dak. I mean, it ended up getting a million attempts and completions and yards to CD. That was only because they were down by multiple scores.
Like Alicia says, maybe like the Patriots-Jets snow game where they were making snow angels. Alicia, you are right. This is Driving the Line. If you're just dropping in right now, we'll be here every single weekday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Driving the Line Golf, Tuesdays live at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Every day, we'll have a combination of NFL picks. We have college basketball with the legendary Howard Schwab, and you never know what he's going to say. We've got an incredible hockey capper, an incredible soccer capper. We are working on other sports as well, but I can tell you this. We're also going to launch a show, and we're going to have a little club. We've been telling you for years that we want you to participate being a part of the crew. Well, now you're going to be able to. We're going to have a club that you can join. called The Crew. And as part of The Crew, we're going to have a special show called Shoot Your Shot. And I see TJ in the chat, and I got an incredible email from him last night. TJ, I read it personally, but our brand manager is going through all of them and what Shoot Your Shot is going to be, because we've all been there. We've all been there when nobody will give you a chance, when nobody will listen to you, when nobody will pick up the phone. There's a lot of diamonds in the rough. So what we're going to do is, I plan on once a week, but if we get a really big response like we've been getting, maybe we'll do it more than once a week. We'll pick 5 or 6 people to come on camera. Now, you got to submit a video, and Jacob will take care of that. But you'll come on, give your take, give your pick, and if you do well, you never know. You can end up right here live on the weekday show as part of the official crew. You're going to have that chance, but you got to join the crew to do it, and that will be ready in the next week or two. AB, go.
Yeah, so everybody that was with us throughout the Major League Baseball season, I mean, we paid off mortgages betting on the Atlanta Braves all summer, and it was a ton of fun. I do have to give a shout out because, look, our man is correct, and Dan's been with us since the jump. This dude knows more about the Braves than I do. I'm telling you, when Dan gets it going, because me and him would talk every day in regards to the Braves, of lineups, of every prop bet in regards to hitters, of Acuna, Matt Olson, keep going down the list. Baby Austin Riley, we would go. And I'm telling you, Dan knows all of it. So, yeah, our crew, like there's so many in our crew that are super knowledgeable about different sports teams, whatever. It's going to be fantastic.
Kevin says in the chat, take my money. Well, guess what, Kev? I kid you not, I just got an email. You guys know who this email's from, by the way?
No, tell me it's.
A man named Eduardo. Do you know who Eduardo is?
We don't. We'd like to know.
Eduardo is our account manager at our official Driving the Line merch store. And he says, Coach, I'm watching the show right now. Let them all know that the I Am the Member of the Crew t-shirt is just about ready to go. Just about ready to go. Our merch store will be up by the end of the week, and you'll be able to get anything you want, especially, I think it's going to be the hottest seller. I am a member of the crew. By the way, AB, did you notice how Phil was drinking his coffee like he's like on a morning show? Like he's just, all he needs is the pinky up there, and you're going, oh, geez.
Hey,
oh, geez.
Can't hide money, baby.
He can't hide money. That's damn right. All right.
You're talking through the.
Oh, stop it with the Rolex.
No, Rolex wearing.
All right.
Dude,
game number.
Broke in the wheeling dealing. All right,
I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down.
I once wrestled Ric Flair in Afghanistan. You know that? It's a true story.
Really?
I wrestled Ric Flair in Afghanistan. It was so bad that instead of losing to the figure 4, I lost to the figure 2 because I couldn't even take it correctly. That's how bad I was.
So the nights I were with you for WrestleMania when in LA, I took a chop in that hotel from Rick right across the chest. Ashley was there, his daughter, everybody. It was hilarious. He gave me, he slapped the hell out of me.
That same trip. Yeah, that same trip, we were on the plane and I was sleeping, and the Big Show, who can hold a can in his hand, put a half-filled can of orange soda on my chest as I was sleeping and smashed it with his hand. So I had orange soda all over me for 9 hours before we landed in Germany and then went on to Afghanistan. True story.
What'd you do to the Big Show because he did that? Did you get after him a little bit?
I got in his face. Yeah, I threatened to fight him. True story. I threatened to fight him. He would have killed me, but I did. I lost my mind. Imagine
you had to do that. Yeah, especially after you probably weren't in the best of moods when you're sleeping on that long flight,
That's true. Now, Rick in the chat, he's taking a shot. He says, Coach didn't exactly have 5-star matches in the ring. LOL.
Oh, Rick.
Admittedly, they're like 1.5 stars. Admittedly, they were 1.5 stars. Alicia says, merch. Yes, I can finally follow through on my promises. Yes, merch. All right, game number 2 today. Eagles and the Bucs. And there has been so much drama, gentlemen, surrounding the Eagles this week. A.J. Brown clearing out everything on his social media, his locker. That's not a good look, Phil, when you are the guy and your other guy, Devontae Smith. There are numbers on him at BetMGM, but we know he's got injuries, and they are rather significant. But the Eagles still, despite limping into the playoffs, are favored by 3. This is a rematch from the regular season. And the Bucs and Eagles total is 43. Give me your Eagles keys to the game.
Yeah, let's get right into the keys to the game, and then maybe we'll talk about AJ and just some of those things if we have time. But the offense is hurt, okay, and they need to find a rhythm early in this football game to gain some confidence. No AJ Brown out with the knee. All right, they've lost 5 of their last 6 football games. DeAndre Swift will go today. Devontae Smith has an ankle, like you just talked about. He should go today too. So just finding a rhythm and the offense just getting some confidence. That's the first thing they need to do. The second thing the Eagles secondary needs to do is tighten the whole operation up. Right now, they're giving up a 104 rating, which is 29th in the NFL to wide receivers. Bradbury has been struggling. He's typically been a good corner, but has not had a good year. They're 26th overall on defense, 31st against the pass. They're 30th in the NFL in scoring, and that is not like a Philadelphia Eagles football team. The Birds need to figure this thing out, and they might be on a bird go heading to vacation soon.
AB, great keys to the game. Your thoughts on the Eagles side?
Phil absolutely nailed the number one thing that Philly needs to do right out of the gate in this game. You know, anytime that you go through a breakup in life or whatever, and your confidence is just shot, or maybe it's just questioned, you simplify and you do what you know and what gives you confidence. You don't have to win the whole game in the first drive. You can't. But what you can do is just feel good after it. So all year long, we have spoken about what Philadelphia does on the first drive to find success. They will run Jalen Hurts, all right, to test your defense of where it's at in the run game, and then they'll throw it deep to test where your defense is at 30 yards down the field. Whichever one that you're not prepared to stop, they will keep doing it over and over and over. And I would not be surprised to see a Jalen Hurts design run in the first 3 plays and then a deep ball in the first 5 plays if they get a first down. So I think that's what they need to do. And look the hell out. If they get confidence, this is a team that has been desperate for it, and they could just run it up.
Yeah, we also got to remember to remind the good people that Jalen Hurts has been battling a lot of injuries. He has a big old brace on his knee and everything. So something to keep
the throwing finger. He left the game and did not return, and that's serious.
Boom.
Serious stuff.
All right, now we know that the first time these two teams matched up, Phil, it was not good for Baker Mayfield and this Tampa team. Give me your keys to the game for that side.
Yeah, as you mentioned, the 25-11 week 3 loss, not sitting well with them, but these are very different football teams. Obviously Baker had a lot of time to work with Dave Canales, who's an emerging offensive coordinator, probably going to interview a few head coaching jobs, done an outstanding job with Baker. He had 28 touchdowns, 10 picks, 94.6 rating. The guy's playing good. He's thrown to a Hall of Fame receiver in Mike Evans, who's having another career year. What a baller. Chris Godwin's going to be ready to roll today as well. Rashad White, he's had almost 1,000 yards, 990 rushing, another 500 and something receiving, 9 total touchdowns. This guy's going to be a factor today. And the second key to the game will be Todd Bowles' defense has the ability to ruin the Eagles season. He's complex. He's got good players on that side of the football. They're 7th in scoring, 19.1 points per game, and they're 3rd in the red zone. They're at Raymond James, no weather to speak of. This is a real football game, and we have a lot to talk about tonight after this thing's over.
Oh, are you wanting to come on live tonight after the games and talk? What?
I feel like it may be one of those nights, Coach.
Well, maybe we'll be live. Follow us at Driving the Line. Jacob will make sure you know if we go live, you will be notified. But you got to follow us to know that. AB on the side for the Bucs. Do you?
SWV in the house or something.
I was just getting everybody prepared for tonight. Go ahead, guys.
Did I mention that we have our own music now? Then we have our own beats guy now? Yes, we do. Yes, we do. AB on the Bucs side. They're the home team, but they're also the home dog. We saw another dog on Saturday absolutely blow the Browns out of the water. So for this underdog, give me a scenario. They get the job done.
If Philly is messing around, all right, Todd Bowles in that defense, it's Phil just said, not only can they ruin your season, they can ruin your life. Like this defense does not play around. You're not going to get out there and just run the football and just A-gap it, and just go right down their throat. Buddy, that ain't happening. Like they play hard as hell. Here's the thing, okay? on the other side for the Eagles, their defensive coordinator, all right, shot aside. Moments the last month when I've been just doing little stuff of all three of us have been crushing it, building this show out. And when I would come to you guys and say, man, I don't know about this graphic, or I don't know about this, like I'm in my head questioning it. You two, every single time would say, do this, got it, we'll pick you up. And that's what the Eagles defense is going to look to do today. They're going to look to pick up the offense and say, I tell you what, how about we get you the first touchdown? You want to feel confident? We'll get you a lead. So that's what Tampa has to be so unbelievably careful of. If Baker goes out and makes a quick pick six mistake, Philly can jump all over it. So I am so fascinated to watch this game, man. It's going to be great.
Phil, go.
You're 10 seconds. And I think you bring up a great point. Like, Desai, is he calling plays? Is that certain today? Or is Matt Patricia calling plays? Yeah. And I think just those questions in the playoffs, it's funny to me that you may think that. I think it's going to be Matt Patricia, and either of us could be right. I don't know if that is a recipe for confidence.
I don't know if that's a recipe for anything good when we don't know what's going. No, I agree with you completely. Like that's not a good situation. And AJ Brown hit it at it, of calling a players only meeting and saying we need to trust the coaches. Who the hell is the coach?
Like, and then he packed his luggage up and left after calling the team meeting. Again, concerning.
Not good.
And I love AJ. I love AJ. I went down to Ole Miss, spent time with him when he was in college before he got drafted. I love this guy. I love him. But like it means so much to them. And when you lose this many games in a row and you're on this slide, now you have a knee injury, like it affects your emotions. And again, is it been quiet? Is it quiet in Philly right now?
But let me ask you before you go. Let me ask. I'm sorry, AB. Let me ask you this though, because we've seen before when AJ gets mad on the sidelines, the very next game he gets 11 targets, 12 targets. You can't do that in the playoffs if it doesn't fit into what you think is going to win. Could you see that happen because of this drama that he has created for himself this week?
I could see him galvanizing the guys that are going to participate in the game today, where it's not quite as distracting when you're trying to force it to a guy who clearly deserves the ball to be thrown to him. But sometimes the defense only gives you certain reads in the progression. They might take you away. You're a generationally talented freak receiver. So I think he's not playing today. So anything that he did before is not going to have a bearing on the game whatsoever. I mean, once you get in the plane, and he's not there, they're not worried about him right now.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about quiet weeks. Nobody's talking in Tampa. They're just going to go play some football games. It's noisy in Philly right now. They're more talented. They're the better team. We know this, but it hasn't been. It's a lot of turbulence, and when you're trying to land these playoff planes, you'd prefer it to be a smooth sailing flight, and not like Airplane the movie where you're just everything's shaking and.
Yeah, or like me not realizing that I'm an idiot, like right there. AB, go.
Yep. So speaking on that in regards to what Phil just said, okay, I believe that the Eagles defense today really is going to try to pick this team up and carry it. And saying that, they're going to take big chances. They're going to try to jump routes, hitch routes, right? 5 yards it in, try to jump it, get pick sixes. They're going to try to do anything that they can to get a turnover, to just flip the field. With that, watch the Bucs offense when they are at the line of scrimmage. They are going to try to draw Philly's defensive line off sides and get free 5 yards because they know that they're playing so damn aggressive that they're going to try to catch them slipping and get them jumping. I guarantee it. Watch when they get up to the line. Hut. Like they're going to try to do everything if Philly is playing toes ready to go.
All right, so here are my two plays for this game. I like the Bucs, but I want to buy that half a point depending on what book you use. It could be minus 120, minus 130. Normally when you buy off, for those of you who are new, if you buy off a 3 or a 7, the juice is normally going to be a little bit more than if you buy a 4 to a 4.5. So I'm buying it up because it's also the playoffs and games are historically tight. So I'm going to take the Bucs plus 3.5. Also, I love Mike Evans. If the Bucs are going to win this football game Mike Evans has got to have a big game. Over 66.5. We know that he can go for 50 at any point. So I love Evans today. AB, yours.
Baker Mayfield, throw an interception, -120. I think that whether win or lose, he's going to have to play aggressive as well. And what we just spoke about in regards to the Eagles defense, they're going to be aggressive as hell throughout this game. It all leads Baker Mayfield putting at least one pick in the air.
All right. AP says, I'd follow you to the ends of the earth, Coach. Well, guess what? There's going to be a lot of ends of the earth with here. It's not going to be one road. We're going to have a lot of roads. And Scott, Phil, because I feel like, Phil, you're going to kind of be the star of the night shows. And again, it's not going to be every night. It's going to be when we feel like it. And we will send out notifications. But he says, what if we call it driving the line after dark? I know it's been used by other brands, but it kind of feels right.
I love it. I love it.
So.
I love it. I think and it's got to be, like last night would have been a great one, because like everyone's juice was like through the roof with the Lions, and you see Dan address the team. You run through a brick wall, then you try to go to bed. It takes a couple hours. I mean, that would have been perfect for driving the line after dark.
Little whiskey, man. What if we had a spirits company that was partnering with the show, and they could actually give us some product that could we do that?
Kentucky bourbon would be preferred for the after dark show.
We could. By the way, somebody in the chat says, are we going to have new showdown music, AB? The answer is?
The answer is absolutely yes, that we're going to have new showdown music. And we're also going to have music for something that we're about to do right now. And I'll take a step back because that is not my job nor my role on this show. And that's why this team works between the crew and between us. What Bill Belichick said forever, just do your job. Do your job, and that's it. So, yes, on that. And, Coach, the floor is yours.
Well, we know that we are developing a club called The Crew. And you know that getting into said club is very, very important. And moving forward, again, we only have a couple weeks left in the football season, but the club is going to exist. And if you get in, you will be rewarded. If somebody of us get in, you will also be rewarded. So for the first time in Driving the Line history, it's time to pick the gym.
We need better. Like I said, we need music for it, but let's go. And you know what, Phil? All right. Phil gets to pick what we're playing for. All right. On Thanksgiving, we were playing for turkey legs. On Christmas, we were playing, I think, for TVs. So, Phil, starting it off, buddy, you pick it. What are we playing for?
We'll figure that out off the air. I don't know exactly yet. Because I had like some PTSD from the little diamond emoji. So yeah. I'm gonna hold on what we're playing for. But maybe it would be the little whiskey glass emoji. Just we'll talk about this. We send 4,000 messages to each other daily, so I'm certain we can come up to something before tonight's show.
Yeah, we'll get it locked in. All right, Phil, talk to me on both games. Who do you like?
Playoff Lenny, get him going. Big fella down in the snow. I know Sean, he's going to want to pound the big fella once we get down inside the 5-yard line. So let's go with playoff Lenny Fournette for the Buffalo Bills. And then just thinking about confidence, who do you rely on? Dallas Goedert down there, plus 1,300 for the Eagles. Let's get him in the end zone and maybe win one of these bets once in a while.
All right, you said big fella. The big fella and I know they kind of have two that they go to, but when I see plus 2,000, I can't help but take a shot on Dawson Knox. He has historically been one of Josh Allen's favorite targets. Now, he's not as much anymore, but again, this has to be, for those of you who are new, plus 1,000 or higher, which is exactly, and I know Phil's going to tease me about chalky knees or chalky legs or something like that, but I'm going to take plus 1,100.
I'm not going to tease you about anything, chalky.
I'm going to take Chris Godwin minus the lotion, and he's at plus 1,100. And for a guy like this, who we know at any point can go off, I don't mind the plus 1,100 because the other choices are not that good from a odd standpoint, AB.
They're not.
And yeah, I just like this one. AB, go.
We are going Dalton Kincaid, all right, from the Bills, plus 1,300 first. This man has been getting more targets, more looks, more yardage the last few weeks for Buffalo. He's become incredibly important. Now, where also he's become important is 40 yards and in. I believe that the first touchdown for the Bills is going to be Kincaid, but it's not going to be a red zone TD. It's going to be in bad weather, slippage, and Kincaid gets past the secondary and just keeps it going. So we're going to go Dalton there plus 1,300. And then next, the Eagles defense. All right. I really do believe that they are going to sell the hell out and try to do anything that they can to flip this game early, flip the field, and give their offense a shot, which sounds crazy because the Eagles were like the best team in the NFL for 12 weeks, and then I don't know what the hell happened there. But, yeah, the Eagles defense, I think that they're going to do everything they can to try to put one in. So give me them plus 2,800.
If you hit that one, we're definitely coming on tonight.
You're damn right. Yeah, inside you. So here's one other thing that we are going to do, and we're going to have announcements literally by the day and by the week. But because we actually have a merch store now, and we control the merch store now, when one of us hits something, or say it's in March and we hit like a big game, we're going to give away a, whatever we call it, gift certificate or whatever to a member of the crew, and you'll be able to go into our merch store and buy whatever you want. That's what we're going to do. We're going to send it right to you. We'll send it to your email. You'll be able to have that code, put it right in. So we're actually going to reward you when we do well. Also, we have a charity component that we will roll out over the course of the next couple of weeks. Our charity, we're probably going to have two, but the one that we're doing right now is going to be Golf for Cops. We love the organization. They support families who have lost a loved one in the line of service. So if you have a good day with us, or you win a lot of money with us, or just on your own, and you want to spread the wealth and help out a really good organization, we're going to have that set up too. We will have QR codes up on the screen all the time, connected to our merch, connected to that. So we're going to be a full-fledged brand, and also we'll be adding other shows as we go. This is literally just the beginning, and it's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. So, gentlemen, that's going to do it for show number 1. Any final thoughts to the universe, Phil?
I just wanted to thank the crew and all the people that are in the chat and sending messages and are being positive and are appreciative of what we're doing. I don't get a chance to say thank you a lot because we're always under these time constraints. And I just wanted to make sure that you understand how much I've appreciated this year, spending this year with you. And I can't wait to see how far we can build this business.
Maybe.
I mirror exactly what Phil said. And then number 2, all right, have you guys ready to go in regards to the cruise pick each day with the poll? We'll have that up. Also, have to give a quick shout out our man, Josh Ward in Knoxville. Him, and if you remember wide receiver, Tennessee, Chicago Bears, Jason Swain. They have a phenomenal radio show right there on the Sports Animal. Check them out. Give them a shout out. But yes, absolutely. We'll have the cruise picks ready to go every day moving forward. And thank you guys all.
Matt says, amazing to have this back in my life. Oh, there's so many people. I just lost it as I was literally reading it. Appreciate you guys. Missed this. Let's have a great day, everyone. Gang. Now, we may take the funny little jab here and there, but understand that what we're all about is positivity. What we're all about is all of you. We want all of you to have a space where you can come every single day and, yes, get picks. But as you noticed today, it's not just a pick show. Yes, we're going to have basketball, hockey, soccer. We're going to have it all. But at our core is all of you, to have a place where you can come and enjoy yourself and be heard. And be heard. That's what we're all about. The last month or 6 weeks has been literally life-changing for us. We had no idea that in this short of a time, we could not only build this, put the team together that we have on camera and off camera. Because we have had people come to us that just say, Coach, I want to be a part of something positive. And that's where we start. Positivity and fun. And finally, gentlemen, I have missed saying this with every fiber of my being. You've got What's your marching orders? Let's take all of these tickets straight to the pay window for my entire crew. Love them all. Damn it, do I love them all. For Coach Phil, for AB, for our golf crew, Robert Dameron, Fast Eddie Fernandez, Steve Scott, and our entire crew behind the scenes. I am the coach. We'll be here every single weekday, all over social media, in the evenings, other shows as well. Turn on your notifications. We're going to take over every single time slot. Thanks to all of you for joining us on day one of the rest of our lives. This is Driving the Lines. We'll see you tomorrow morning.